Small improvements create massive results over time. Most people are searching for a big moment that will change everything. They want a sudden breakthrough, a dramatic transformation, something they can point to and say, "That's when my life changed." But real change doesn't announce itself that way. Real change is quiet. It happens in small decisions, made consistently when no one is watching. Improving yourself by 1% doesn't feel heroic. It feels almost insignificant, and that's exactly why it works. Think about how nature grows. A tree doesn't grow 10 feet overnight. It grows slowly, steadily, ring by ring, day after day, season after season. You don't notice the growth until one day you step back and realize how tall it has become. Personal growth works the same way. 1% today may not feel like progress, but tomorrow it stacks on top of yesterday, and the next day it stacks again. Over time, those small gains turn into something powerful. The problem is that people are impatient with progress. They plant a seed today and expect fruit tomorrow. When they don't see results fast enough, they assume nothing is happening. But growth is happening beneath the surface long before it shows up in your results. Every time you read a few pages, learn a new idea, or practice a skill just a little longer, you are laying bricks for a future you cannot yet see. 1% is manageable. It doesn't demand perfection. It doesn't overwhelm you. It simply asks for intention. Do a little better than yesterday. Speak a little kinder. Focus a little longer. Try again instead of quitting. These small actions don't change your life in a day, but they change the direction of your life. And when direction changes, destination eventually follows. Most people never fail because they lack talent. They fail because they underestimate the power of small, consistent effort. They quit too soon. They stop just before the compounding effect begins to work in their favor. 1% improvements don't just add up, they multiply. And that multiplication is what separates those who drift through life from those who steadily rise. Success is a daily discipline, not a one-time event. Success is not something you achieve once and then keep forever. It is something you practice daily. It's not a destination you arrive at, it's a routine you commit to. The illusion that holds many people back is the belief that one big decision will fix everything. In reality, it's the small decisions repeated daily that shape your future. Every day, whether you realize it or not, you are practicing something. You are practicing discipline or neglect, focus or distraction, growth or comfort. These daily practices quietly build momentum, and momentum, once established, becomes incredibly powerful. The trouble is, momentum doesn't care which direction it's going. If your daily habits are careless, momentum will work against you. If your daily habits are intentional, momentum will carry you forward. Discipline often gets a bad reputation, but discipline is simply self-respect in action. It's choosing what you want most over what you want now. Improving 1% a day is not about forcing yourself into misery. It's about aligning your daily actions with the person you want to become. It's saying, I may not feel like it today, but I'm going to show up anyway. Daily discipline removes the pressure of perfection. You don't have to be great today. You just have to be consistent. You just have to do the small things that move you forward. Wake up a little earlier, prepare a little better, reflect a little more honestly. These acts seem ordinary, but they shape extraordinary outcomes over time. What you do daily shapes how you think, and how you think shapes how you live. When you commit to small daily disciplines, your confidence grows naturally. You begin to trust yourself because you keep promises to yourself, and that trust becomes the foundation for bigger challenges, bigger responsibilities, and bigger opportunities. Success then is not luck or timing. It's not reserved for a chosen few. It's the natural result of daily disciplines practiced long enough to become part of who you are. Your habits are the invisible architects of your future. Most people spend their lives reacting to results without ever examining the system that created them. They look at their income, their health, their confidence, their relationships, and wonder how things ended up this way. But results are never random. They are built quietly by habits, those repeated actions so familiar that you rarely question them. Habits are the invisible architects of your future, shaping your life one small decision at a time. Every habit you practice is a signal to yourself about who you are becoming. When you consistently choose learning over distraction, you are building the habit of growth. When you choose comfort over effort, you are building the habit of avoidance. These choices don't feel like defining moments, yet they are defining you. Over time, habits stop feeling like something you do and start feeling like something you are. The power of improving 1% a day lies in how it reshapes your habits without overwhelming you. You're not trying to reinvent yourself overnight. You're simply adjusting the direction of your daily actions. Reading a few pages a day builds the habit of learning. Exercising for 10 minutes builds the habit of movement. Writing a few lines builds the habit of clarity. These habits begin small, but once established, they work automatically. What's dangerous about habits is that they work whether you are aware of them or not. Negative habits compound just as effectively as positive ones. Skipping preparation, delaying action, ignoring reflection. These small choices quietly build a future of frustration. But the moment you become intentional, the same system starts working in your favor. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. When you focus on improving your habits by just 1%, you stop fighting yourself. You stop relying on willpower and start relying on structure. And structure creates freedom. It frees your mind from constant decision-making and channels your energy toward growth. Over time, the right habits create momentum, and momentum makes progress feel natural instead of forced. Consistency beats motivation every single time. Motivation is exciting, but it's unreliable. It shows up when things feel new, when emotions are high, when inspiration strikes. But motivation fades. Life gets busy, energy drops, mood changes, and when motivation disappears, most people stop. That's why consistency matters more than motivation. It doesn't depend on how you feel. Consistency is the quiet decision to keep going even when nothing feels exciting. It's showing up on ordinary days. It's doing the work when the results are invisible. Improving 1% a day teaches you to move forward without waiting for inspiration. You don't need to feel ready, you just need to act. Consistency builds identity. Each time you show up despite resistance, you reinforce the belief that you are someone who follows through. That belief becomes stronger than any temporary emotion. Motivation says, I'll act when I feel like it. Consistency says, I act because this is who I am. And identity-driven action is powerful. Small, consistent actions remove the pressure of intensity. You don't need extreme effort, you need steady effort. When you improve 1% daily, you lower the barrier to action. The task feels doable, so you start, and once you start, progress becomes easier. Consistency turns effort into routine, and routine turns growth into a lifestyle. Over time, consistency builds trust with yourself. You stop doubting whether you can stick to something. You stop starting and stopping. That self-trust changes how you approach challenges. You don't panic at setbacks because you know you'll keep going. You don't rely on emotional highs because you have systems in place. Consistency is not dramatic. It doesn't demand applause, but it is relentless. And given enough time, it outperforms talent, motivation, and luck combined. Personal growth changes how you see yourself in the world. When you commit to improving yourself by just 1% each day, something subtle but powerful begins to happen inside you. The changes may not be visible at first to others, but you feel them. You start to stand a little taller. You speak with a little more confidence. You begin to see yourself not as someone stuck in circumstances, but as someone capable of growth. Personal growth reshapes your self-image, and once your self-image changes, your entire world responds differently. You stop defining yourself by past mistakes. Instead of saying, "This is just who I am," you start saying, "This is who I'm becoming." That shift alone can break years of limitation. Growth teaches you that you are not fixed, not finished, and not defined by yesterday. Every small improvement becomes proof that change is possible, and that belief opens doors you never thought you could walk through. As you grow, your perception sharpens. Challenges that once felt overwhelming now feel manageable. You begin to understand that obstacles are not punishments, but invitations to grow stronger. When life pushes back, you no longer collapse. You adjust, you reflect, you learn. Growth gives you perspective, and perspective gives you peace. Personal growth also changes how you respond to others. You become more patient, more understanding, and more aware. You realize that everyone is on their own journey, fighting battles you cannot see. Improving 1% a day doesn't just make you better at what you do, it makes you better at how you live. You listen more. You react less. You choose progress over ego. And perhaps most importantly, growth teaches you responsibility. Not blame, not guilt, but ownership. You begin to understand that while you may not control everything that happens to you, you do control how you respond. That realization is empowering. It moves you from feeling like a victim of circumstances to becoming a designer of your future. And once you feel that power, you never want to give it up. Becoming 1% better daily is a commitment to your future self. Every small improvement you make today is a conversation with your future self. It's a quiet promise that says, I'm doing this for you. Most people think about the future as something distant and abstract, but the future is built in the present. The person you will be in 5 or 10 years is shaped by the habits you practice today, the thoughts you entertain, and the standards you accept. When you improve 1% a day, you stop betraying your future for short-term comfort. You begin to see time differently. You understand that today is not just another day to get through, it is an opportunity to invest. Each disciplined choice deposits value into a future you may not see yet, but one you will eventually live in. There will be days when progress feels slow, days when effort seems unnoticed, days when quitting feels easier than continuing. But remember this, the future version of you is counting on your consistency today. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you are building a life that will thank you later. Every time you show up despite doubt, you are creating momentum that will carry you forward. Improving 1% daily is not about pressure or perfection. It is about faith. Faith that small steps matter, that discipline compounds, and that your efforts are never wasted. Over time, these small commitments shape your character, strengthen your confidence, and expand your possibilities. So, as you walk forward from here, remember this. You do not need to change everything today. You only need to change something. One small action, one better decision, 1% more effort than yesterday. Because when you honor your future self with daily growth, you don't just improve your life. You become the kind of person capable of living the life you once only imagined.